Okay, but still someone try to check on this as well. Okay, yeah, hi guys, good morning, and in today's session we'll discuss about Linux operating systems. Okay, so yesterday what we have did, we have configured Oracle virtual machine. Guys, someone go on mute. Hamza? Okay, hope my screen is visible.
No. Okay.
No, okay, let me share it.
No, sir.
Is this okay now? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. So yesterday what we have did, we have configured Oracle virtual machines, right? So virtual box has been configured, and inside these virtual machines we have configured our Ubuntu image. Okay. So what is this Ubuntu image? What is this virtual box?
Ubuntu is the operating system.
Yes. Ubuntu is one of the kind of operating system based upon Linux distribution. What is virtual box? So generally what we can do is, for example, okay, the reason why we use virtual machines or virtual boxes is, okay, so this is one kind of software which will help us to create one image inside our virtual machines. I mean, inside my Windows, we are also able to configure Ubuntu, Linux, or some other operating systems. The reason why we used to do this is, for example, for any project, for example, I mean, I have two projects, I mean, two applications. One should be deployed on Ubuntu and one requirement is to deploy on Linux. So what generally I will do? I will purchase the hardware. Earlier, there were no cloud infrastructure. So what we used to do, we used to purchase the hardware. Okay, I mean, CPU, RAM, memory. So I used to purchase this operating hardware, and I used to install Linux based machine, I mean Linux operating system. And for Ubuntu, I used to make of Ubuntu. I used to install Ubuntu. So when we do that, right, so what will happen, we need to purchase two different infrastructures. For example, that project has been completed after 1 year, then again after 1 year, what will happen? That will be of no use for us. If the project has been completed, there will be no use of them. So what they have did, if we have 64 GB of CPU and 5 core of 64 GB of RAM and 5 core of CPU, so we can segregate that between different operating systems. I can divide, if you see this, okay, if you see this laptop, it is having 16 GB of RAM and it is of 5 core of CPUs. So what I have did, I have configured I have installed my Oracle virtual machine and I have set my Ubuntu to use 1 core of CPU and 2 GB of RAM. Means I'm sharing from this 16 GB. So with the help of such virtualization concept, we can create different operating systems for different applications. Instead of buying the hardware again and again and for different purposes, we can purchase a hardware with high capacity and we can divide for different applications or different operating systems. Okay. So apart from virtualization, we do have one concept called containerization. Containerization is much easier as well as much powerful as well as popular in the market currently. That concept we'll see when we are working with Docker containers. Okay, so now, so we have our virtual machines and we have our Ubuntu server. Okay, so let me start this. It will take some time to start. Okay, in the meantime, let us.
Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry for the interruption, Sabir. So here Tahsim and Amani are facing issues with the Skype.
Okay. I mean, it is getting out of that.
Even they are not able to see the screen.
Okay. Let me
Even
let me
Shravani is facing the same issue.
let me just.
Ari.
Guys, hope this is working now.
నా 5G వాళ్ళందరికీ స్క్రీన్ యాక్సెస్ వస్తుంది, నా 2G వాళ్ళకి రావట్లేదు, 3 people.
Guys, hope everyone has. I mean, everyone is able to see my screen.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what we have did, I mean, we have our virtual machine and we have configured Ubuntu image, right? Let me just try to log in this. Okay. Okay, let me open this again. So these VDAs are generally called as virtual desktops. This is what we get. I mean, when we are working for any project, right? So we might get a laptop from one company, and again, the work where we need to complete the work, or where we need to connect, will be in terms of VDAs. That can be either Citrix, or that can be either virtual machines. Anything is possible. Okay, so work on this first. Okay, so apart from this, okay, apart from this Ubuntu image, we do have our Windows images as well, right? So in Windows image, what we have did in Windows image, we have configured git bash on the day one, right? So if I right click this, show more options, here we can find git bash here. So what is this git bash? Why we have installed git bash, and what is the purpose of using this?
To write a code.
What kind of code? If suppose anyone is unable to configure Oracle virtual machine, then what we can do is we can use git bash. So git bash is also a kind of software which will help us to execute some basic Linux commands. For example, we have one command called pwd. See, this is working. Okay, so if Oracle virtual machines are not available, then what we can do, we can use git bash. This is one terminal which will help us to execute some basic Linux commands. Not completely, but at least we can execute 20 to 30 commands in git bash. Okay, if we have these operating systems virtual machines, then it is well and good, because we can execute all the Linux commands, and this is the Linux based operating system only. And git bash where we are using is Windows based operating system. Okay, so before moving that, so why do we need Linux operating systems? Why Linux is very popular in the market?
Very secure and more users can use.
The
Multiple
first
users.
benefit is multi-user login. Means multiple users can log into the same operating system at the same point of time. Whereas in Windows, what will happen? If two users are trying to log in, then one user will get log off automatically. Whereas in Linux, multiple users can log in at the same point of time. Apart from this, this is an open source operating system. So when we say open source, means we don't need to pay anything for any license, or we don't need to pay any money for anyone. This is open source. It can be configured and used by anyone without paying single penny to any company. But whereas Windows, what is the problem in Windows? In Windows, we need to purchase the license for every operating system. Okay, and apart from that, Windows is based on graphical user interface. GUI mode is available in Windows. Whereas in Linux, you can see this terminal. Okay, so in most of the Linux operating systems, you cannot find this interface. I mean, as of now, we can see this GUI, right? Chrome, and we can see some icons over here. But when working on real servers, there will be no interface. We should only execute with the help of CLI, command line interface. Example for CLI is this. Here you can see, do we have any graphical user interface? No, we are just trying to open one terminal and perform the activities. Okay, so GUI means graphical user interface, and CLI means command line interface. Okay, so when we are working in graphical user interface, the problem is, for example, if I'm trying to see this, right, so there might be a chance where we can delete this as well. But when working with CLI, it will only perform when we execute the command. So the chances are very less to make some errors over here. Apart from this, Linux operating systems provide very good security. I mean, they are more secure than Windows operating systems. If you remember, when we try to open any browser in Windows and try to access some website, right? So what will happen? There will be a lot of pop-ups, ads. And if you click on any ad, what will happen? Some malware will get installed in your machines and it will corrupt the system. But whereas in Linux, there is no chance. You will understand what you are performing. So you will be aware of what you are executing. Okay. So Linux operating systems have different flavors. Okay. So one such example is Ubuntu, which is what we are using, and then we have RHEL, means Red Hat Enterprise Linux, and then we have our Amazon Linux. This is one example, and then we have our CentOS. We have SUSE. So there are a lot of flavors available in Linux operating system, and these are some of the very important flavors which are available. All these flavors will use the similar commands, same commands except the packages. If you are executing one command called pwd, okay, so this command. So if I'll execute this on my Ubuntu, let us see the output. pwd. See, it is also showing the directory. And whereas in Windows also it is showing the directory, means same commands will execute on all the Linux based operating systems, on different flavors of Linux operating systems. There is no change in commands, so do not worry about the commands as well. The only change will be in terms of packages. So what is package? I will try to explain when we are working on packages. Understood, guys? Clear?
Yes.
Okay. So now help me to understand this. When I'm trying to right click on my Windows machine and I'm clicking on more options and clicking on new and folder, what will happen?
New folder will be created.
Okay, new folder has been created successfully. As you said, it is right, but why it is getting created? What is happening in the backend? It should have created one text document for me. Instead of creating folder, it should have created one text document for me. But why it is creating folder only? Or else, if I'm trying to click on refresh, it is trying to refresh the complete machine. It should have did some other activity. So from where these are getting executed?
Command.
Which command? How my operating system is understanding? So what will happen is, any operating system, what they will do, they'll try to capture the basic daily use processes. On an average, for example, if you want to create one directory, instead of writing that program, so what they have did, they have already predefined program in our operating systems. When we install operating system, right, if you open see these are the different files which has been installed with the operating system. Along with the operating system, these are the different files which have been installed. So here it has all the dependencies or the packages which are required to perform some day-to-day activities. Like one example is refresh. It is automatically refreshing, means the moment I'm trying to execute this command, this button, what is happening? One predefined program is getting executed and which is doing the refresh for me. And when I'm trying to create one new folder, this program is getting executed and creating a new folder for me. Similarly, we have different options available. So all these are day-to-day activities. I mean, this will help us to perform day-to-day activities on our operating systems. So what developers has did, or the one who has developed the operating system, what they have did in order to make sure that the user is, I mean, this operating system is user friendly, they have combined all the packages or all the necessary commands or programs, and they have created one kernel. Okay, example. So in operating system, there will be something called kernel. Okay, inside this kernel, what they'll have? Predefined programs, user friendly behavior. Means if you want to create any folder, you should not be writing the command again and again. You can just use this feature and execute and do your work. So in such case, they will combine all the important or the predefined programs and create one kernel. And this kernel is nothing but the heart of the operating system. For any operating system, whether it is Windows or Linux, there will be one kernel. Because of this kernel, what is available in the kernel? We have the predefined programs. So kernel is nothing but heart of the operating system. If the heart is not available, then anyone can leave. Is it possible? So what they have did, by using that heart, different companies has created their own operating system. Like Ubuntu has modified. I mean, they have taken that kernel. That kernel was open source, and they have created Ubuntu. Some company guys, what they have did, Red Hat guys, what they have did, they have taken that kernel and they have customized as per their requirement. They have created RHEL. Some people has created, I mean, Amazon guys has created Amazon Linux with the help of the same kernels. Similarly, we have seen different flavors. That's the reason there are a lot of flavors for Linux distributions. Understood now? Why all the commands are working in these operating systems? Why the commands are same?
Yes.
Because they are using same kernels.
Yes, everyone is using the base kernel is same, and they have customized as per their requirement.
Requirements.
Even if you'll see the Android mobiles, right? Almost all the mobiles have the same functionalities, but the user interfaces are different because each company has created some different kind of user interfaces. Okay, so all the commands will get executed in these operating systems, so do not worry
Excuse
about.
me, sir.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
where we get that base kernel, sir?
This base kernel has been derived from Unix. Unix was the main operating system. Out of Unix, the Unix guys, what they have did, they have created the kernel, and that kernel has been distributed across these platforms. Unix is the base operating system.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sir, after being distributed and they have renamed their own kernels as they
Yes,
wish. That's also.
yes, yes. Even for example, even if I have very good knowledge on programming, right? So what I can do, I can use the operating system, I mean the kernel, and I can develop my own operating system.
Okay, sir.
Since I don't have much understanding for the programming, so I will not be doing that, right? So that depends upon person to person. If you want to do something, then yeah, you can also create or create your own operating systems as well. Okay. So now the most important point is the commands, how to execute the commands in our daily usages. Okay. So the first thing what we need to understand is we have shell and terminal. So what do you mean by shell? And what do you mean by terminal? Do we have any terminals in Windows? Guys, look at this definition. Okay, terminal is a tool to execute the commands. Okay, so do we have any terminals in our Windows machines? Yeah, so we do have CMD. Okay, so this is the default terminal available in Windows. Similarly, if you see this graphical user interface, Ubuntu, okay, and if I'll right click here, open in terminal. So what we have the default terminal available in Ubuntu as well. Okay, so apart from this, we do have installed one more terminal, that is git bash. This is also terminal. Guys, 1 second, guys. Yeah, sorry guys. Okay, so we have installed git bash, that is also nothing but one terminal in our Windows machine. So why we have installed git bash? So that git bash basically will help us to execute some basic Linux commands. Okay, so if you'll see this CMD, if I'll do pwd, see pwd is not recognized as an internal or external command. Always make sure that the moment you have executed one command, try to check the output as well. Try to read the output, what is happening. Why CMD is not allowing? Similarly, if I'll execute this in my git bash, let us see what will happen. pwd. This is accepting the command and I am able to see the output. But pwd is not working in CMD. Why?
Different operating systems. So
Yeah, because CMD is for Windows operating system. Windows kernel is different, so we cannot execute Linux commands in Windows machines. Okay, that's the reason CMD is not working, and because of that reason only we have installed git bash in our machines. Understood now? What is git bash?
Yes, sir.
Or what is
Yes,
a
sir.
terminal? Terminal is any software or a tool which will help us to execute some commands. Okay. Now next what we have shell. What is shell? Shell is a program which takes inputs and gives outputs. So one such example is our git bash. One such example is command prompt. One such example is shell in Ubuntu. Okay, here I'm trying to give an input as my command pwd or else date. Let me execute date is also one command which will help us to get the date and time. Okay, so date is one such kind of command which is helping us to get the details, the current date and the timestamp. So wherever we are executing this interface is called as shell. If you want to see which shell we are using, echo $0. See, this is the shell we are using. Echo $0 will help us to get the details of the current shell what we are using. Okay, similarly in Linux or in Ubuntu, let me try to execute this. See, bash shell, we are trying to use bash shell. So we have different shells again, bash, sh, and I think we have lx something. But the current shell what we'll be using is bash because this is the latest one. Okay. So we have two things, one is shell and one is terminal. Terminal is a software, help us to execute some shell commands, and shell is a program which will take the input and give the output. So this is what happening when I'm trying to execute date. This is input and this is the output. Okay, and then we have forward slash. This is very important, guys. Forward slash is very important. Always remember that forward slash means root directory. What do you mean by root directory? If I'll open my Ubuntu and if I'll execute cd forward slash and pwd, see, currently I'm at forward slash. I'm in my root directory. What is cd? What is pwd? Do not worry, I will explain that as well. Okay. So for now, just understand that currently I'm in my root directory. Okay. Hope screen is good now. So what do you mean by root directory? If I so if I'll do ls, for example, ls command will help us to get the list of files. Hit enter. See, these are the different files which comes under this particular location. Remember one thing, root directory will always represent, sorry, forward slash will always represent root directory, and below root directory only we can find different directory structures in Linux distributions. Okay, if I'll open this diagram, okay, see, root directory, and below root directory only we have different hierarchy for all the directories available in Linux distribution. So we have different directories. For example, user, here if you see, we have one directory called user, we have one directory called bin, we have one directory called etc, we have one directory called home. So this, all these directories comes under root directory only. Each directory has different purpose. Similarly, what we see in Windows, what we see, if I'll go to my C, okay, here we have program files, we have Windows, we have users, okay, for x86, and this is for 32 bits. Then we have Intel. These are the dependencies kind of thing, right? So it is automatically creating all the directory structures for us. Okay, the purpose of these directories is to make sure that operating system is executing or behaving as expected. Do not worry about why this directory is here, why this directory is not there. No, that is how it has been programmed. Okay, and then what we have tilde symbol. Tilde symbol you can generally see beside numlock1. So tilde symbol will always represent home directory for us. Okay, so if you'll see this cd tilde, and if I'll do pwd, now you can see home software. So from where this home directory is being fetched? What do you mean by home directory? If suppose I have two different users in my operating system, so what will happen? For each user, one home directory will get created. Okay, see, home directory user1 and user2. For example, I have given my access, or I have created one more user called Techie Horizon. So Techie Horizon will also get one home directory. So similarly, in Windows, this is what we are saying. In Windows, if I'll open this, right? So my users, see users. So these are the three different directories, home directories, which are available in Windows. So my username is 0075, and this is for public. If so what we used to do, we used to create some guest accounts, right? so that when someone wants to access our laptop, they can access via guest accounts. That is also one home directory. If you are the main user, then one directory will get created for you. Okay, so home directories will get created based upon the number of users. If you have 5 users, then there will be 5 home directories, so that you can save your files and do whatever you want to do. Understood? Not, no response from anyone. Confused or what?
No, sir.
Got it. Try to communicate, guys. If you have any questions, then let me know. Okay. And then we have one more command called pwd. Pwd means present working directory. So if you want to know the location of your directory currently where you are, because it will have only the black and white screen. So this is having the black and white screen and you are not aware of your location. So what you can do, we can execute pwd command, and this command will help you to understand the complete location. Which location currently you are available in that operating system, I mean in that machine. In Windows, since we have graphical user interface, for example, under desktop, under new folder, see, so this is my location in Windows. No need to execute any command. But whereas in Linux, if you want to know your present working directory, then we should use this command called pwd. Okay, and then we have one more command called cd, change directory. Change directory. Why do we use change directory? For example, I want to open this new folder. So what I will do in Windows, I will double click this and I'm inside that directory. I have changed my location. But whereas for Linux, what we need to do? We need to execute the command called cd. For example, now I want to get inside this desktop. So currently where we are in the home location, right? So if I want to change the location to desktop, then I can use cd and desktop. Always use de and you can try to press tab. So what will happen? It will automatically try to auto populate the name if it is unique. Okay, cd desktop and hit enter. See, currently this is my location, desktop. If I'll do pwd, see, this is my current location. So cd will be used to change the directories. Means if you want to move from one directory to another directory, we can use cd command. Now if you want to go back, to the previous location or any other directory, so what you can use? So we have one more command, that is cd ... change directory ... what will happen? It will help us to go back to one step back. Means, guys, one second. Means from desktop location to Saber location. Hit enter. Now if I'll do pwd, now you can see, home/Saber. So cd will help us to move forward, as well as cd ... will help us to move backward. For example, let me again switch back to my desktop location. So now I want to go to home location. What I can do? I want to go 2 steps back. So what I can do? I can use cd ... /... one step and 2 steps. Hit enter. Now if I'll do pwd, see, currently I'm in the
Sir, one
home location. Yes.
excuse me, sir. Sir, instead of that, can we use cd ... two times to go back?
Yes. cd ... /... So 2 steps back. CD dot dot will help us to move one step back.
Again, I mean, that's what I'm saying, sir. If we use 2 times means can we go back 2 times?
Yes, right.
CD dot dot and again CD dot dot 2 times.
Yes. Dot dot
Okay.
and then forward slash and then dot dot. 2 steps back. Apart from this, what you can do is, for example, let me again go to the same location. Okay, currently I'm in my home Sabet desktop. For example, if you want to go to home location, so which what we call, I mean, we have tilde symbol, right? So tilde will always represent home directory. So what we can do, CD tilde, hit enter. Automatically it is in my home location only. I mean the desktop of this user. Okay. If you want to directly go to the root location, no need to go CD dot dot slash dot dot slash dot dot. No, do not do this. You can always use CD forward slash hit enter. And if you do PWD, then you can see that currently I'm in the root location. So we can make use of these symbols, I mean forward slash and the tilde symbols to move to root locations as well as home directory locations. Okay. And then we have ls. So what will happen if I execute ls, for example, in my Windows? The reason why I'm showing Windows is so that we can understand or we can try to see the difference between Windows and Linux. Okay. So in Windows, if you want to see the list of files, what you'll do? It is available over here only. No need to execute any command. If you want to see the list of files available in errors, just double click this and you can see all the details related to this. So these are the list of files which are available inside my directory called error. But whereas in Linux, we need to execute that command. For example, okay, for example, I'm in the root location. Now I want to see the list of files or directories which are available in my root location. I can execute the command called ls. And I can see the list of files which are available. So ls command will help us to get the list of files. Okay. And similarly, we have ll. ll means long list. So what will happen if I execute this? It will help me to get the list of files as well as some details as well. See, you can see the different details related to my file. For example, we have the TMP, right? So TMP, you can see all these details. Here we can see something called DRWX, RWX, RWT, and then 20 root 0 October 3 1144. When we execute ls, what happened? We can only see the list of files. When we execute ll, it will get us the complete details of our file system. Means which file is available, what is the size, what is the permission, who is the user, who is the owner, on which date this has been created. If you want to get the complete list, we can use ll. Similarly, we have one more command called ls-ltr. If I execute, then you can see the same output. Means there are some commands, either we can use ll or ls-ltr. Anything is okay because both will display the same output for us. Both will execute the same output. In some machines, ll might not work. In this case, you can use ls-ltr. In some operating system, ls-ltr might not work. Then you can use ll. There are a lot of arguments which can be used for file systems. I mean ls and then -ltr, ll long list. For every argument, there is some specific meaning. -ltr, what do you mean by ltr? ls means list of files. What do you mean by ltr? Try to check this.
List.
Yes, continue.
List according to time.
Yeah. So try to explore this. How you can explore this? What is ls-ltr? Just we have this very good AI technology, right? ChatGPT. Use this ls-ltr. Then you can get the complete details. See, ls means command of list files. L means the long format. T means listing. R means reverse sorting. So you'll get the complete description. So try to explore this, okay? And then we have ls-l. This is also one parameter for list long. ls-a is very important. This is very important, guys, ls-a. So why do we use ls-a? For example, if I'll open my Windows and my C, here how many directories you can see? The number of directories is 13. Here if you see the number, we can see as 13, right? So now let us see what will happen. So we have something called hidden files, right? Hidden items. So if I'll click here, we can see 19 items now. So what happened? Some files or directories were hidden in the background. Similar thing is available in Linux as well. And if you want to see the hidden files, what you can do, if you use ls, you cannot see this. If you use ls-a, then you can see the hidden files as well. ls-a command will help us to get the list of hidden files. Here if you see the output, here we can see something called dot and dot dot. Okay, so let me try to, now let us try to create one directory. Okay, so in Windows what we'll do, we'll just click, right click, show folder, new and folder, it will get created. But whereas in Linux we need to execute the command called mkdir and then the file name, which file you want to execute. ls-a, I will explain you. I will try to create one directory and hide the directory and show you over here. Okay, as of now this output is not what, I mean we haven't created anything, right? So there is no hidden file. Okay, so mkdir command will help us to create one directory. What do you mean by directory? What is directory? In Windows we call as folder, but in Linux we call them as directories. What is folder? Or what is
It
a
Place
directory?
where
contains
we
files
can,
Sorry?
to save the data in the folder.
So data will be saved in file, not in folder.
place where we can store files is nothing but
Right, right,
folder.
right. So file is nothing but the place where we can save some text data or any data. So list of files can be saved in folder. Okay. So in Linux, what we call as directories. So if you want to create any directory, then we can use mkdir command. So I want to create a directory, but not at this location. I want to create at the home location. cd forward till currently I'm in my home location now. Now if I do ls, how many directories are available? Desktop, documents, downloads, music, pictures, public, snap, template, videos. Now I want to create my own directory. How to do that? mkdir and then the username, for example techie_horizon. Guys, always make sure that instead of using spaces, use underscore symbol. So what will happen is, for example, if I'm giving space, techie_horizon was a single name, right? I'm using space and hit enter. Now if I do ls, we can see techie one directory has been created, horizon one different directory has been created. So it will break the command. Linux, what it is doing, it is understanding that I am trying to create two directories, one directory with the name called techie, one directory with the name called horizon. Okay, and we have one very good option. If you use the if you want to go to the previous command, right? Sorry, so you can use the up arrows from your keyboard. Then you can see the previous command. See, if I'm doing this, we can move to the previous commands. Okay. So now always make sure that do not use spaces, use underscore. If you want to, for example, we have Sheetal Rajput here. If you want to create one directory with the name called Rajput, what we can do, Sheetal_Rajput. Okay, and if I'll hit enter now, and if I'll do ls, what happened? One directory has been created, techie_horizon. This is how we can create the directories. Now I want to hide this directory. In Windows, what we do? We can just go to the view and we can hide any directories, right? We can just select, go to the settings and select and hide the directory. But whereas in Linux, what we can do in order to hide this techie_horizon, we should add dot in front of this file system or directory. So how to add dot? By renaming it, or else while creating itself, I can make the change. So as of now, what I have did, we have already created. I mean, this is the existing directory. Now I want to hide this existing directory. So what we can do, we have one command called mv, move, mv command, move, and then the directory name underscore horizon.
ls-a is also the command which is used to hide, right?
ls-a will help you to list the hidden files, not to hide the file. In order to hide the file, what we need to do is we need to add dot in front of the file name. Okay, so what I am trying to do now, I am trying to hide this file. How? By renaming the file name, because this is already created, right? So what I will do, I will use move command. This will help us to rename the file. Okay, so which file you want to rename? Techie horizon, and from techie horizon to what should be the name? Dot techie_horizon. And if I'll hit enter, what happened now? If I'll do ls, can we able to see this file techie_horizon? No. Why? Because the moment I have added dot, this is considered as a hidden file. That's the reason here we can see something called dot. And if you want to see this now, I mean, if you want to view the list of hidden files, you can use ls-a, hit enter. See, here we have so many hidden files: .bash history, .bash logout, .bash rc, .bash profile, selectors. These are the system generated files, and also you can see this .techie horizon. Okay, now for example, now you don't want to hide this file. The purpose what I have hidden has been completed. Now I don't want to hide this file. This can be seen by anyone. So what I can do, again I will rename this to from .techie horizon to techie_horizon. Now if I'll do ls, we can see techie-horizon, because here I have printed iPhone. So this is how we can hide a file, and this is how we can unhide the file. Okay. Now if you want to clear the screen, we can use a clear command. If you want to see the history of my commands, whatever I have executed, I can use history command. See, 45 commands is what I have executed. If you want to see date command can be executed. If you want to see the list of files, ls can be executed. Now what I want to do is I want to delete these two files, two directories, because this was my error, right? So I was just doing this for testing purpose and it has been created. Now I don't want these directories. I want to delete them. So in Windows, what generally we do? We'll just select this, click on delete button, that's it, went. And here we have recycle bin. It will be available in the bin for some couple of days, I think. But whereas in Linux, if you want to delete, what we can do, we can use a command called rm -rf, remove recursively file, and then the name of this particular directory. Which directory you want to delete? I want to delete techie as well as horizon. I want to delete two files. And if I'll hit enter and if I'll do ls, see both the files have been deleted. So do you have anything called recycle bin? Here we have recycle bin slash. But when it comes to CLI, there is no recycle bin, guys. Once deleted, you cannot recover that. So make sure when you are using rm commands. Okay. And then what we have, for example, we have used move command to rename, right? So we can also use move command for another purpose as well. For example, move key horizon file to which location you want to move. I want to move this to my desktop location, or else I want to move this to some other location. For example, pwd, I want to move this to cd desktop. I want to move this to this particular location. So what I will do, I will get back I will use move, and I will use take a horizon, and then I will pass the path home, subware, desktop. Hit enter. Now if I do ls, so what happened? See, this file has been copied. I mean cut and paste. And if you go to desktop, if you do ls, you can see this file available here. So if you want to cut one file from one location to and move to another location, then you can use move command, mv. If you want to rename a file, we can use mv command. So mv can be used for both the purposes. Now if you want to copy that file, do not cut and paste. You want to copy that file, we can use cp and then file name and then the location, home, subware, not desktop, only home and subware. Hit enter. Okay, so we should use -r. Recursively means it will try to copy all the directories which are available inside take a horizon. Hit enter. And if I'll go to one step back, so ls, we can see take a horizon is available. So if you want to copy, we can use cp command. If you want to cut and paste or rename, we can use move command. Understood? Linux is very easy, guys. Initially, it might look very difficult, but within next 3 to 4 days, you will be more perfect in Linux as well. So do not worry about that. Okay, and it is very interesting as well. Once you are addicted to Linux platforms, right? So it will be very boring for you to use the Windows platforms. Okay, so now what we have did, we have renamed, we have created a directories and everything has been done. So now I want to create one file. So where inside my directory called take a horizon, cd take a horizon, hit enter. For example, the every command whatever we are trying to execute is been successfully executed. What if something is wrong? So we have one command called pwd, right? So there is no such command called pld. This is a wrong command. So what will happen if I'll execute wrong command? If I'll hit enter, see, command not found. So we have date command. So we don't have any command called dates. Hit enter. Command dates not found. So whenever we execute any wrong command, this will not be able to execute and it will throw the error called command not found. So always check. If it is showing as command not found, means we are doing some mistake in the command. Either there might be a spelling mistake, or we haven't provided the space, or we are trying to add some extensions which are not available. Okay, this you will understand as I mean based upon the practice, you will understand this. So now we are inside this directory take a horizon. Now I want to create one file. So in Windows, what we do, right click, create one file. But whereas in Linux, what we need to do, we can use the command called touch and then file name. For example, file name is subware. Hit enter. ls, see, one file has been created. If I'll do ll, you can see the size of this file is 0, because this is just an empty file. Now I want to add some text to this file. I want to add some text to this file. So what I can do? Sorry? Yeah, so in Windows, what we have, for example, this is my file. So we have different editors like Notepad, Notepad++, Visual Studio Code, WordPad. Okay, these are the different editors which are available in Windows to edit our files. In Linux, what we have 3 type of editors. One is VI, one is VIM, one is Nano. So these are the 3 different type of editors which are available in Linux. So you can use any editor. There is no difference. You can use any editor. So the, I mean, VI is something what I'm comfortable with. So I will be using VI. Okay. So VI and then the file name. Hit enter. See, you can see one interface. The interface has been changed. Now I want to write any. I mean, I want to add some content to this file. So what I will do, I will start typing. I'm trying to type, but it is not accepting. Why? See, now it is been accepted. Close this. Always what we need to do is, let me just try to close this and open this again. VI software. Okay, so always make sure that the moment we have opened any editor, we should get, I mean, we should make this editor into insert mode. As of now, it is not in the insert mode. So how can you do that? By using the keyword called I. I means insert mode. Now I can execute, for example, hello world. So this is my content. Now if I want to save this file, you cannot just simply close this and it will ask for save or no. In this case, it will ask because we have the graphical user interface, but when we are working on the CLI, it will not be asking all the stuff. So what I can do, I can use escape button, colon, write, quit, save, hit enter. So we need to use this extension. Escape and then colon, write, quit, and then exclamatory to save the file. Hit enter. Now if I do ls or ll, you can see the size has been changed. It was 0 earlier, now it is 12. Why? Because I have added some content. Now if you want to read the content, how can we use, I mean, only to read, not to edit. If you just want to read the content, we can use a command called cat. Hit enter. So what happened? It is able to show the content for us. So cat command will only help us to read the content. If you want to edit, you can use VI, VIM or Nano, 3 editors. So this is very important question, guys. In interviews, this will be asked how to create a file with the size 0. Just now we have did that. What is the command to create a file with size as 0?
Using touch.
Yeah, so we have touch command. Touch command, what it will do, it will help us to create a file as well as the file size of that file is 0. For example, touch hello, and if I do ll, you can see hello file has been created and the size is 0. Do we have any other ways to create a file? Yes, we do have other ways. For example, vi and then world. So what will happen? It will create one file called world and also open the editor as well. We can directly create and start editing. If you want to create a file with the size called 0, then we should use this command touch. Vi world. See, editor has been opened. Hi, hello. Cat world. We can just read the content. And if I want to delete this, for example, I want to delete, I can use rm world. For directory, we should use rm space -rf. Now if I do ll, world is not available. So this is how we can use some basic commands to perform our day-to-day activities. Okay, see, these are the different parameters which are available. Guys, this is one document and another document we have shared already, right? So we have given some soft copies. So try to learn from that sheet as well. Both are same. The only thing is here we have configured some different commands which are not available in this sheet. This information was not available. Okay, so see cat, this is what we have executed. This is still pending. I will try to explain this. Okay, and then rmcp, and WC will be helping us to read the word count, means how many lines are available. For example, WC software, it will see we have got the complete details. Cat say one line, 2 characters, and 12 is the size of the file. WC will help us to get the details of your file, how many lines are there, what is the size, how many words are there. WC means word count. Okay. Guys, understood? In
Yes, sir.
tomorrow's
Yes, sir.
session, what we'll do, I will not execute other commands now. So what we'll do, we'll try to execute some other commands in tomorrow's session, or else it will be very burden for you guys. Okay. So whatever has been shown in videos, try to execute and try to mug up with the description. ls means list of files, mk directory, to create the directory. Okay. So this is how you should be practicing this, and I want the proofs as well. From today, you should document all the commands whatever you are executing, means you should take the screenshots. How you will be taking a screenshot? By using snipping tool. Right click, for example, I want to take the screenshot. Copy, open a document, I mean any Word document, and paste over there. Okay.
Got it.
Yeah, let me stop this recording.